I'm Mike A. Pratt, and I will be running today Dusk City Outlaws, a fantasy heist role-playing game by Rodney Thompson, produced by Scratchpad Publishing. This game is being run for Cohort 15 for Geek Therapeutics, and I hope that you're watching it, that you may enjoy it and find something that you like. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our players. When I call your name, go ahead and tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what your character is good at. Phil?
Yeah. Pleased to meet you. Quickfinger Malone's the name. I came up in the Rusty Chains street gang years ago. Most of them are dead or in jail now, I'm afraid to say. So I'm kind of a freelancer, see? I can get in places, I can take what I want, and I get out. So if you need something taken, just ask me.
Celestine?
I'm Celestine. I'll be playing Arabella Dumond. I am of the Vespers cartel. I'm a grifter. My specialties include, well, just look at me, frankly, but I am really good with interacting with the nobility, and I know how to get what I want and help other people get what they want. Make them all their desires come true.
Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Ariel Three Fingers. I've got all 10. Don't ask where the 3 came from. I'm an assassin, see? I know how to sneak around, I know how to fight people, and I can find any information that you might need.
And Megan?
My name is Megan, and I am playing Minerva Crowley. I am part of the Grave Diggers, and I'm very familiar with the funeral parlor. My specialty is to take care of problems that nobody else wants to take care of, and I clean very well.
All right. So we begin in the afternoon on a Thursday. The sun is dipping low over the city of New Dunhaven, the sprawling Renaissance Venice metropolis with its various districts and canals situated over the harbor. And this particular Thursday evening, the characters are off. They are doing their own thing, and when a messenger comes and brings them a note, like the messenger is a little girl or a little boy from the Taoan descent, so a little bit like a Asian analog on there, and they bring a card which basically says, "You've been summoned for the arrangement, capital A, because there's a job that needs to be pulled off," and then that card indicates to show up down at the docks. So what I'm going to ask is go through the characters and ask you what is being interrupted this Thursday evening that you are getting pulled away from, and we'll start with Minerva. You're on mute, Minerva.
I am being pulled away from holding a very nice service for a local old man. His wife is a little bit sad. She's very concerned, and her direction is in his finances, and I'm going to do everything I can to protect that.
Arabella, what were you doing when you got pulled away?
I was at a party. I was just interacting with some of the well-known and highly influenced members of the city. I was actually in the middle of showing some of my, I like playing card games. They're very amusing to me. So I was in the middle of one of those at the time when the messenger arrived.
Ariel, what were you doing? Yeah, Ariel.
I was napping.
Nap
What
it,
you
nap
want?
it. That's a good answer. And quick fingers, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was making my way, sneaking over a gate and through a window, but I wasn't trying to steal anything except possibly the honor of my girlfriend, who happens to be the daughter of a very rich and influential merchant who thinks I'm nothing but street trash. But it's my great pleasure to break into his house on a regular basis to visit her. So this better be important because I had big plans, big plans.
All right. So you end up the card indicates that you've got basically an hour to show up down at the docks, and wrapping up whatever various plans you've got. You manage to make it down to the docks where to specifically to the pier indicated, where the a boat with a couple of burly individuals who don't talk a lot come by and take you on a mouth brain words, yes. Take you on like a dinghy rowing you out to a junk with bright red sails out in the harbor there. This you're brought aboard all basically about the same time, and you kind of look around, and you may have done one of these jobs in the past where in the arrangement different cartels are brought in to do part of a job to ensure that they all get a slice of the pie, so that the fighting between the various cartels doesn't happen. This particular junk has been converted to a pleasure boat. It doesn't have the same kind of trappings that an actual sea vessel would have, and you were brought in to what was previously would have been like the crew quarters and cabins, and to find that the place has been gutted and reset up as like a really nice den with varying trappings of wealth. There's plush carpets. There's on the walls there are trophies from a lifetime of fighting pirates and sea monsters and things like that. And in the back, there is a woman who is lounging. She on a lounge. She has impossibly long black hair and has a really long pipe that I happen to find a picture for. And she invites you to come in, and her goons have kind of disappear into the woodwork. This is a Red Lotus Society broker, and she has a job for you. Friends, I have a job for you. I need a particular statue claimed for my family. This is the famous Xiaolong bust, and it is a Talon artifact of some renown. You may have even heard of it, and it is currently on display at the Moonshadow Gallery. Unfortunately, it will be leaving the Moonshadow Gallery this Saturday. That's a mere 2 days from now, where it will be outside of our reach in the hands of some noble. So for this time, I need you to acquire it for me. Now, I trust that you're professionals. I'm not going to ask any of you how to do it. So I just trust that you will be able to bring me this bust and do it in a way that the bust will remain unbroken. It won't do anybody any good if it's damaged. Now, I'm sure you've got some questions, but I have a few other points for you there. If you should manage to steal the bust in such a way that nobody realizes it's gone until after it's long gone, I find that an extra, a bit of extra reward will come to you. Also, if you should find a way that the gallery itself acquires a bad reputation or is tarnished in the eyes of the nobility, I call that a personal favor, and I'll put a little bit more pay into the pot there. Don't sweat it if those are too difficult for you. Just the important part is to bring me the bust. Now, if you have any questions for me, I may be able to answer a few of those, but I'm afraid my time with you will be limited this evening. But I have arranged for you to a small vessel that you can make your planning on away from prying eyes. Please, if you have any questions, I'll answer them.
When you say rewarding, how much are we talking about?
A significant pay. This is after all an important job.
Now, is that to be split among us?
So, on a side point, because the way the arrangement works, it means that you guys will be receiving a fair amount of compensation. Like this is not going to be a cut and run kind of deal. It's worth your time. You are obligated to do this job, but also you know that doing the job will bring proper rewards with you.
Yeah, what kind of security are we looking at in this place? I mean, stealing something's easy, but who are the guards?
I imagine the guards would be fairly significant, but I'm afraid I have not done the any sort of the work required to find that out. I trust that you as professionals will be able to find that information on your own.
All right.
Now, if you don't have any further questions for me, I'm afraid I must leave you to your planning. Fowl there will show you out, and one of the big brutes comes up very quietly and politely and basically shows you to the door, where you're led out to a small led over to another vessel that you had noticed nearby, which is basically just just basically has like a table, and you're brought into a room that has like a table and some lamps, and this is a chance for you to do your planning. So now let's talk about scenes and for this point, planning. So in the planning, during this game, unlike traditional role-playing games, Dusk, Outlaws is broken down into various into scenes, each or segments and scenes. Segments are half of a day. So either the daytime or the nighttime. Right now, this is nighttime because it's after sundown. And then within a segment, there are scenes. The scenes will be either planning, which is what you guys are about to go into right now. Legwork, where each of you are going to go and collect some bit of information, some knowledge about what you need to do, secure some material goods that you're going to need to pull off the job. And then finally drama, which is usually go time, where you will actually attempt to do the mission. So you guys are being brought in to do a a legwork scene. During this point in time, you are going to get 15 minutes real time of which to discuss your plans, find out what you've got, what you need to know, what you need to do, and come up with some sort of a plan for doing this mission. Right. And
Okay.
I've got a timer going right now.
So then my question is what's everybody's specialty, I guess, like within their class?
Yeah, like I'm a thief. I can take this thing, but we might need some other sort of scouting and preparation before I go in and grab it.
Well, I got your back. I
Now-
can scout as long as it's dark.
Now, I will say that Arabella, as a Vesper, does know a little bit about the Zhaolong bust.
Yes.
The Zhaolong bust is shows the Regent Augustus II in his youth, and it is larger than life. So, and carved from marble. So it's not the kind of thing that Phil is going to be able to stick in his pants, or the Quick Fingers is going to be able to stick in his pants. It's the kind of thing that requires a couple people or one particularly burly individual to move.
Yeah, I mean, I got an elastic waistband, but I think that would defy even the dimensions of that.
Okay.
So that's
And,
going to be a little trickier.
So yes, I'm familiar with the piece. Yes, it's going to require multiple people to move that. We do know it is held currently at the gallery, which I forget the name of.
Moon Shadow Gallery.
Moon Shadow Gallery.
You know that this is located in a noble district, although you've not been there yourself.
Okay. Okay. I should have some connections, at least for gaining access to the gallery should needed. And I'm also quite good at providing appropriate distractions. But we were incentivized to, if we could delay the obviousness that the bust has disappeared. I enjoy incentives. So I should have to figure out maybe who owns or runs the gallery, and certainly if there's any events planned in the near future, any parties, that would be very useful.
You know, maybe what we need is like a forgery, a replica of some kind that we could leave in its place. But we still got to get a giant concrete thing in there and then another giant concrete thing out of there. That's not going to be easy.
I don't do any of the heavy lifting. I can make the scene look as if nothing was amiss if we can get a replica.
Does that?
What would? Oh, go ahead.
Just going to ask what district the gallery is in.
It's in a noble district. It is specifically in the Brandor Duchy. The nobles all call the different districts that they control duchies and baronies and things like that.
Okay.
So you will get the opportunity to do legwork because you've already started to lay out certain things like the possibility of getting a replica, of figuring out who runs the place, doing that kind of thing. Those will be handled during legwork scenes. So it's a good idea to basically make a list of things that you need to know or material that you want to get so that during legwork scenes you can do that. I will also remind you that all of you have currently one influence. And that influence is basically your ability to leverage your power within your guild to make stuff happen. It also happens that it's that your influence is that your influence can also represent a significant amount of money that you can put on a thing. And usually it's like if you're spending your influence on any of the things that's listed on your cartel sheet, you could also spend influence on like just bribing somebody perhaps, or if it's something's really expensive, spending the influence on that. There's also one table influence, which can be used by anybody.
I think perhaps I might be able to arrange with my given stature and perhaps a different persona, since I've never been to the gallery myself. If I were to pose as a wealthy noble who was considering donating an object to the gallery, I might be able to get a full tour as well as the security measures to ensure that my item would be well protected. That might be useful, as well as getting a layout of the security measures, doorways and other things.
Yeah, that might be a way to have an excuse to bring something in there and maybe bring something else out. Anybody got a vehicle we could move this thing with? I mean, we're not going to carry it through the streets, right?
Well, we just
I got my feet.
I might be able to help with that. There is a chance that I may be able to acquire one of the hearses that we use.
Well, this emperor is in fact dead, so that is appropriate.
Poor bugger.
I guess the question was, does anyone know of a good artificer, someone who could, a sculptor of some sort, who could create a replica, decent enough to pass initial glance?
That's kind of out of my expertise. I don't know anybody fancy like that.
I might have a contact I can look into who, perhaps I might know someone who have a bit of blackmail on. I could see.
I could ask some of my friends. They could help us on the roofs around the gallery, possibly help take down some of the security if that's what we need.
Minerva, what if I were to have received a priceless artifact from a deceased family member that has now come into my possession? Would you have any ability to create some sort of, perhaps we could create a document, as a, here's my official, my inheritance. These galleries tend to be very finicky in terms of ownership. If you can provide me with a appropriate death certificate of some sort, I think we could manage a convincing paper trail.
Of course. cleaning is the name of the game.
So, I was just thinking about what Ariel there said about taking out the security. And it occurred to me that if we do that, it's not exactly going to be a secret that this job has transpired. But if you read the fine print of this offer, it's only that people can't be aware that we stole the Xiaolong bust or whatever you call that thing. So what we could do is have Arabella here give a nice big, very large sized fake thing to this place. And we could steal that, but we're not really going to steal that. We're going to steal the bust. And the fake thing inside of it is the fake bust. And we put that where the old one was. Then we steal it. But they think we stole the new thing, but we actually stole the old thing. And we could kill whoever we want. We can make as much noise as we want. It doesn't matter because we're not stealing what everybody thinks we're stealing. What do you think? Is that crazy?
Bustception?
Something like that. It's a bait and switch, you could say.
A Trojan horse. Okay.
I like the poetry of that. You have a devious mind, sir.
Yeah. And then you could be outraged and demand compensation, and we could get more money. And the place could be ruined. They wanted to ruin the place or make them look bad, right?
By the way, if any of you have, I don't think actually any of the characters do this, but some characters have a function that says during a planning scene, prepare something in advance. This is your warning to get that done.
For mine,
maybe the cleaner or grifter. I don't think the thief or assassin do.
I can choose a judge-controlled character who you've interacted with and learn his or her greatest desire.
Okay, that would be typically during a scene.
Yeah, well, this is during a planning scene.
Oh, you haven't interacted with anybody yet.
Correct. I definitely will be choosing my alternate identity to play this role of this noble who will be.
All right, well, carry on. I don't think because like the poisoner, for example, has to use planning scenes to prepare poisons.
Yeah, as a cleaner, I don't have that. It's all like I don't see that.
Okay, no, that's fine. All the times I've played this, you'd think I would have all of the character specialties memorized now, but they're too varied for me to have that in my mind. All right. But you have a couple more minutes left.
Okay, so if we're going to go with my harebrained schemes, what we need is a large object d'art, as is the term as I understand it from my extensive education, that Arabella is in possession of, which we will need to deliver to this place, right? And we need to figure some things out, like what's the security, all that. And I might know some like people that work there. I could probably get in touch with like some commoners that clean the place out or whatever, if nobody else has any contacts. But I'm not, I don't know. Maybe a key thing is we got to find something for you to give them. Does anybody have any of the kind of contacts that can get us something artistic that we could hide something else inside? The forgery, I mean.
Don't know of someone specifically, but I know of people who could give me an introduction to a merchant who might create art pieces that would be suitable.
I could ask some of my contacts. Sometimes we have things that we steal from, we obtain things from other people, and it might be something might be big enough. Maybe. I could ask.
All right.
Well, and I have the transportation I can get a hold of, create some very formal looking documents, and pretty well known in most of the noble districts. I might be able to convince one or two people to turn a blind eye. May or may not help.
Yeah, about all I can do is create a distraction and figure out how the security works.
Just run in screaming.
All right. I think that's just about time. So you, after spending all evening planning, or spending a long period of time planning, you go back to the city and go about doing whatever that it is that you do during the nighttime, sleeping, eating. You've got other jobs that you're probably also slightly working on, and we move on to the next day. So real quick, there's a thing called heat, and there's a big heat icon there in the middle. This represents the forces of law and order working against you, because now you guys are on the job. So you generate 1 heat per person per day, and you can't do anything about that. Then when you go to do legwork scenes, your characters may generate additional heat by being conspicuous in the district the scene operates in, or by making loud or messy crimes, or crimes that leave witnesses behind. Those scenes will generate an amount of heat, which will then go into the pool at the end of the scene. Extra points that I can spend to introduce complications later. So just to bear that in mind. But now we're going into the day phase. It's Friday during the day, in which case you guys are almost certainly going to be doing legwork. You're going to be performing each taking the lead on a legwork scene where you will go to get some bit of information or acquire some material or something of that nature. And you can help each other out on these. And also these legwork scenes can take place at any time during the day, kind of separated from each other. So if one person does a scene that's takes place in the afternoon, when time, the next person could potentially do a legwork scene in the early morning before businesses get open, that kind of thing. So I leave it to you to decide who's going to do what and where to the various legwork scenes on that, so that you can get the information you need to perform to this mission. Who wants to go first? Who has a good idea about going first?
I do. I would like to gather the information so I can create my persona as needed about who owns the gallery, what families or associations they might have, other people who could get me the right introduction for my noble persona that I will use.
Okay, so you do need to find out about the gallery and who owns it and whatnot. So are you going to take the lead on that legwork scene?
Yes, please.
All right. If you look under journal, there is a section called the scene guide. This would be on the back of your blue card normally. Mm-hmm. And there's a blue box right in the middle that says, describe one thing you want to get out of the scene, and describe a place you're going to go to get it, and how you're going to get it, and if necessary, who you're going to interact with. So you're trying to find out who owns the gallery so that you can get information about them and start the process of blackmailing or whatever it needs to be. Where are you going to get this information? Where and how are you going to get this information?
Well, hold on, I'm going back to my notes. I know that the gallery is located, I wrote it down, in the Grandeur Duchy. Mm-hmm. I would imagine that in my dealings, in my experience, I must have some contact who is in the know, or at least through my guild, we absolutely have blackmail on somebody.
Oh, absolutely. You undoubtedly do.
So I would like to find um, any information I can about specifically either who has the most power influence in that particular region, or if I can find the specifics on the owner of the gallery themselves, because I want to find out their vice.
So that's still pressing on the information that you're trying to obtain. That's the what. It's the where and how is the question.
Yes.
Like you know who owns the duchy, who supposedly has the influence there, because it is a known thing.
All right. Then I will use, why don't I use some of my influence to go into the deep ledgers and find some good blackmail worthy information.
Okay. So if you're using influence, what you can basically do is you go to one of your guild contacts, and you say, hey, I really need this information. I'm calling in a favor. And they go out and do that. And it actually doesn't even count against your legwork scene, because it's not time that you're spent doing the work. You're asking your guilds to do that for you, which you certainly can, and I can give you information based on that. So this is to be aware, because it seems like you're maybe there's a point missed, which can happen sometimes playing this game, which is to say that this is less of a GM driven role-playing game and more of a GM moderated role-playing game. So what's going to happen is that you are going to tell me where you're going to go and who you're going to talk to and how you're going to get it. So you're like, I need to find out, I'm just stepping up here, and you feel free to change this, but you're like, I want to find out who owns the gallery, and find out maybe if I can get some blackmail information on them. So I'm going to go down to the I'm going to go down to the rose-colored glasses, a wine bar that's up the street from the gallery, and I'm going to talk to Madam Garlinia there, who has who's the local gossip, who I know from a previous job, and I'm going to chat with her about things and find out that information from talking to Madame Garlinia. That's what you are going to do your legwork scenes, and bear that in mind. That's what everybody's going to do during the legwork scenes. It's not going to be me telling you how you do it. It's going to be you telling me how you do it, and then I'm going to be reacting on that one.
All right. Then I have the perfect thing. I will be within the city. There's something known as the sewing circle. Wealthy, noble women who get together to enjoy time in the company of other women. You know, when the beverages are flowing, we certainly enjoy gossip while, you know, engaging in all sorts of various things. I will be attending. I happen to know that there is within this region, there is a standard meeting, a standard place in the back of a tea shop. And I will be going there and interacting with the other well-known ladies to gather information.
That sounds perfectly plausible. This is taking place in a merchant district, a noble district?
The noble district, yes.
Okay, a noble district. Which I'm presuming that you are not conspicuous in.
I am not.
And this is a place that you've been to before, and you're going to try to suss this information out in a way that's not going to be you don't want to give up the game. So you want to suss this information out in a way that's not going to be noticeable by people. So what you're going to do is you are going to make a skill check. We get our first skill check of the game. wherein you're going to roll percentile dice, and I'm going to make this easy for you, and you're going to compare it to the skill that you're going to do. In this case, it very much sounds like gossip with nobles. And furthermore, I believe that that your character actually has a bonus in this case, where you'll get to roll advantage dice.
I have 2 advantage dice, yes.
Excellent. Advantage dice, for those of you not knowing, are d8s where half of the faces are good bonus symbols on there that say if you get this, something cool, something good is going to happen, even if you fail the check. Now, to succeed at the check, you're going to roll percentiles, and you're going to see about making it less than or equal to your actual skill in this. So you're going to need to know what your skill number is. Which, if you look, it'll be on your blue card. If you don't see it, it'll be called anything else.
Gossip with nobles, 65%.
Okay, not great, but not terrible. And then the actual mechanics to how you do this is if you click on your token on the screen, which you should be seeing there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you click on it, a button appears in the upper left that says PC skill check.
Mm-hmm.
And you click that button. And then it's going to ask you how many advantage and disadvantage dice you have, which in this case you have 2 advantage and no disadvantage because you're kind of in your element. Okay. So I have good news and bad news for you. 89 is not going to pass a 65 check. The good news is you did get a boon, which is means that something good will happen. So you have a couple options. You can accept this roll, in which case you did not get the information you're looking for, but you did find something else that's valuable or useful from that because you got a boon on that. Optionally, you can do what's called push your luck. This is a last time we played, I ran Dusk to the Outlaws. This actually never came up the entire time because just everybody passed their checks. It just was weird. But in this case, when you push your luck, what you can do is every character has 100 points of luck. This is a little bit like hit points that you find from other role-playing games. You can spend 10 of those points to increase your skill by 10 points temporarily for this roll. Now, 89 means that you would have to increase your skill by 30 to be able to meet that, to be able to pass this check. So that would cost you 30 of your 100 luck points. And mind you that this is a little bit like hit points. So later when we get into combat, your luck points will be drained away by various combat, assuming we will, which we probably will. Also, every time you push your luck, for every 10 points of luck you spend, you also get have to roll a disadvantage dice. And a disadvantage dice is a D10 where 6 of the 10 faces are skulls, which mean that something bad will happen that will counteract your good thing boon. So the question is, do you want to push your luck on this?
I don't think so, because I also have asked my guild member for a favor. So
okay. And did you actually spend an influence to get your guild member to do a thing?
yeah, I just didn't. I need to update it on my character sheet.
Okay. All right, and then and my brain just deleted that information. What was it specifically you were looking for?
The information about the gallery owner, any blackmail worthy or specific details, I guess, that we may have.
All right. So you get some information out of this. You don't get any real good information about the blackmail owner, but you do get a name. The name is Celia Tutor, who is a commoner who is actually the curator of the gallery. Does anybody, if you look on your character sheet, there's things you know about. Does anybody know about commoners?
Yeah, I know a lot about commoners because I am one.
Okay. So you get information on that one. She's a kind of a bookish woman who looks more like a scribe than the curator of an elite gallery. And she doesn't interact, but it's notable because this is like a noble's art gallery. To have some commoner in there doing this work means she's actually very capable at her job. And it's a bit of a it's a bit on the gossipy side of things, where it's like this person has been elevated up to this kind of role. Now you did get a boon, which means that something good else will happen from this. Wherein you find out that they don't talk so much about who owns the gallery, but they do talk about the bust itself. And the Zhaolong bust is used by noble families as a bargaining chip, a way to pay off debts and things when sums of money would be considered to be crass and mercantile. But if one family has to pay another family for some reason, you can transfer art over. And the thing that crops up is that House Virago is giving up the ownership of the bust to House Silvertree. And it's on display at the Moonshadow Gallery specifically because that's a neutral ground while they're in negotiations to see if this will settle their debts. Okay. So that's Arabella's legwork scene. Now we can go on to somebody else's legwork scene. Who else wants to take the lead on a legwork scene? By the way, it's also presumed that any information somebody gets during a legwork scene is then shared with the other people you meet at the fish market and trade out info or whatever happens to be. Do I have to call on somebody?
I got a question.
Sure.
If I attract heat by being in a noble district, can I avoid that with a clever disguise?
I think that if you go through the effort of making a clever disguise, which would be a legwork scene, that would make you not conspicuous there. Okay. But the problem about conspicuousness is not just how you're dressed, but also how you act.
Right.
And if you're conspicuous in a district, it's because you stand out in that district.
Yeah, I was thinking I kind of want to case the joint because I'm pretty good at that, but I'm also conspicuous in noble districts. So I was thinking maybe Arabella could get me like a nice suit with a cravat and a monocle or something like rich noble looking.
Okay.
And like I look like the Monopoly guy.
Also, I will point out that if you go and specifically go to case the joint like of the gallery where you're going to be at, that's real risky, because if somebody notices you, it could increase the difficulty for future functions on that point.
Right. So,
but if you have some plan of going in and casing the place, that gets away with it, you can actually earn additional influence for doing bold and exciting and very heist-like stuff.
So I kind of wanted to pretend to be just like a rich art buyer and walk around the gallery and look at all the security systems and the guards and everything, and see if I see what I can see. But if people think it's too risky, I won't do it. But
I mean, that's certainly a thing you can do, and it's certainly risky. You will get additional heat for being conspicuous in the noble district, but if you manage to pull it off, then you'll be able to get away with it and potentially more information.
Well, I guess what I'll do first then is spend my influence to tap into the forgotten information network and learn the current state of a person or place. So I kind of want to find out if there's like a janitor or other commoners who work in this place and know its vulnerabilities, maybe before I go and do it
Okay.
myself.
So
just
you're
to
gonna
give me
ask your contacts about
Yeah.
that.
yes.
Okay. And you're spending an influence to do that specifically.
Yeah, so then I would use my legwork to case the joint if I find, and maybe that'll give me an edge to do that or something. I don't know.
Okay. I was also reminded that somebody else had spent their influence to also gain information, and I didn't provide information about that. But let me do this run now, and then I'll go back to do the other one. So there are, so you get word back. Little Tony, who comes up and is just like, "Hey, here's the information you want," and sort of just passes you a note. You find that the gallery itself has pretty standard security measures you might expect: locking doors, bars that pull down over the windows once the shutters are closed, that kind of thing. You find that they have two security guards, the two heads of security, a Kamala Chandler and an Elias Bogard. Kamala works the day, Elias works the night. And they have a specific section of the gallery which is set aside for this, set aside for the bust itself. They also warn, while there was one other thing, they believe that a member of the Dredger Detective Agency has been hired to also help protect this bust. Now, for the Dredgers, somewhere between the FBI and the Pinkertons, they are the bane of criminals across the city. While they're not specifically law enforcement, they're hired to catch criminals and turn them in, and are very well versed in how to thwart criminals on that. And if the gallery has hired a dredger, that could spell bad news. What was the other thing that we had influence spent on? I cannot remember. Brain leaking out of my head, I'm sure.
I think Arabella was trying to find out if there was blackmail to be had on the gallery owners.
Arabella was spent influence on getting blackmail, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to? You've got a chance to back that out if you want to.
Yeah, no, I'd like to use that.
Okay. And this is on the gallery itself, or on Celia, or on one of the other names that you've just got.
Yes, let's use it on Celia. If she's a competent commoner, that's intriguing.
So Celia is the information you get back on her, your contacts bring it back a dossier. She's accomplished and talented artist. She's got an exceptional eye for art and has proven unrivaled at identifying artists whose work at the forefront of trends. This allows her to stock her gallery with high demand art, which makes the Moonshadow Gallery kind of a place to go for nobles. She's largely oblivious to social cues and has little interest in anything other than art, and is kind of absent-minded, almost to a fault. Now, she has some, because everybody has some degree of blackmailable material, which I don't have in my notes. So why don't you tell me what sort of blackmailable material that she's got?
Well, if she's oblivious to social cues. Blinded.
While you're thinking about that, the other people who've not performed legwork scenes should plan on figure out what their legwork scene is going to be.
I think her blackmail, one of the reasons she got into this position because of her eye for art and her obsession with it, in a previous employment, she absconded with a particular piece that she did not believe that was being properly respected. That is very valuable. She's not intending to sell it, but it would ruin her reputation if it was found out that she was the person who took it.
Okay, that sounds like strong blackmailable material right there. All right, we have Ariel and Minerva both have legwork scenes to do.
I can go first.
Go for it.
Alrighty, so Minerva is going to be, so I am talking to some of my contacts within the cartel, the Gravediggers, on finding transportation, a hearse for the, oh crap, what's forgery piece. That was ladylike. So that's, I have to spend an influence point for that. And I will work on documentation for a death certificate, right, Arabella? Okay. To authenticate the forgery piece, all the forgeries.
Okay.
Yes. And then because it was mentioned that we might have to mess the place up, I can go in afterwards to clean up the scene. So I'm talking with my staff about potentially making our way to do some cleanup.
Okay. So you're going to go obtain a death certificate, or you're going to go do cleanup?
I'm doing death certificate.
Okay. And where do you go to get this forged death certificate?
I'm gonna go back to my funeral home.
Okay. And so you're just gonna spend hours at home forging a document.
Gotta make it look as good as I can. It's gotta pass off as real.
Okay. So this sounds like you're going to be making a forge a document roll. And because this is specifically a kind of document that you get your hands on a lot, I'm going to give you two advantage dice on this.
Okay. And then how did it?
So you click on your character.
Okay.
And then in the upper left-hand corner, or like on the character token on the map, and in the upper left-hand corner, a button will appear that says PC skill check. And when you click that button, it'll ask you advantage dice, which you say 2, and disadvantage dice, which you say 0. And then it should pop up. And it says 66, and you get a boon. What's your forged document ability?
I believe it's 65.
Okay, which means that it doesn't look quite right. So would you like to push your luck on this?
You know what? Why not? Sure. How do I do that again?
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to subtract 10 points off of your skill check, or of your luck. So you can change that on your character sheet, or actually, if you click on your character's portrait, that's the number that appears in the green circle. You should be able to change that number there.
So then that would be 90.
Switch it to 90. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we need to roll a disadvantage dice. So I'm just going to have you do the roll again. I'm going to ignore everything there, but you're just going to roll disadvantage. Just one disadvantage on that.
So no advantage dice, one disadvantage.
Yep. And then I'm going to ignore the number that crops up. So, okay. So you did score a disadvantage on that, but that balances with the advantage you got. So you have a forged death certificate that looks pretty convincing there. A true expert might be able to tell the difference, but you'd think that it's certainly going to be good enough that you can handle it. Like nobody will know the difference unless they're a true expert and they're specifically expecting forgery.
I mean, like I do death all the time. Why wouldn't they be convinced if I did? It's like if I gave this to them, they should be fine.
Yeah, the hardest part was getting the seal just right. You had to spend a lot of time with wax and doing it and like faking the seal that would normally go on it. But all right, so I think Ariel's the only one left on this one. So there, Ariel is having problems pulling up the cards.
The weird thing is I can see everything else other than the ones I need.
So when you click on it, does it just not bring anything up?
Doesn't bring anything up.
Okay, so what I would recommend looking for is hidden somewhere on the screen, kind of grayed out that those things.
I did do that also.
Like,
and I don't see any.
Like a grayed out box that says Wardens of the Night.
Yep, don't see one.
You do not see one.
Like that kind of transparent thing that. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because if you double click on the title, it hides it on the screen. Leave the Roll20 game and then join back in.
Okay. How do I leave the frickin' game?
Under the gear in the upper right hand corner, there's an option that says leave game or exit game.
Okay. Hang on.
And then it'll take you back out to Roll20, and then you can click on the thing and then click launch game.
Gotcha. Okay. Huzzah. Okay. I got it.
Yay. Another problem solved.
Yay. Sorry. Okay. I'd like to go talk to I want to go talk to Badger.
Okay.
He knows about things that have been acquired through our networks from other shipments and things, and maybe he would know of something that we can use as a decoy.
Okay. And this would be where do you meet Badger at?
I meet Badger.
What district or what kind of district do you meet him in?
Oh, I'd like to meet him in the slums.
Okay.
People will not go look at me in the slums. And if I meet him in the slums, then I meet him in the alley behind the tavern.
Okay. And all right. And then the so you meet him in this alley behind this tavern. And you go and ask him about acquiring for you an art object. What did you have specific requirements for this particular art object?
I'd like it to be able to hold something inside it that's about the same size, shape, and weight as the thing we're trying to get.
All right, so I think that he can probably see about doing that for you. Now, this to get something like that, it's going to be a significant amount of risk for him. So you can either attempt to convince him or use some sort of other method that you may have to get this information, to get him to get this for you, or you can provide him with favors, once again spending your influence to make that happen.
Well, I could provide him with a favor. I know he's got people that he needs taken care of. And maybe in the future, I could take care of that for him.
Okay, so this sounds like you're spending influence to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll spend your influence. This doesn't take your legwork scene because you're spending influence. You just go meet him, and then you go and meet him, and then he's like, all right, fine, I'll do it for you, but you owe me for next time. And he, after a period of time, comes back and he's like, it's the bust is big, right? It's a larger than life piece of marble, and getting something to fit like a big urn would be very hard to do. But I have this tapestry, and it's like a big wall tapestry thing. It's like a big rug. He's like, this is the best I got for you.
All right. I'll take it to the group and I'll see if they like it.
All right. And then you actually have a legwork scene which you can perform.
What I won't do with that.
One option of things that you can do with a legwork scene is cool your heels, which will actually say you forego your legwork scene, and in exchange you reduce the amount of heat I've got in my pool. It's one of the very few ways to reduce heat.
I'd like to cool my heels.
All right. As a GM, I will recommend against doing that because
never mind.
Because I think that you guys have more legwork scenes that you need to do.
Okay.
Before you're ready for this.
Okay, so legwork scenes. Hold on. I can't really go anywhere during the day.
So, I mean, you may want to cool your heels. You may want to save it for nighttime.
Can I save it for nighttime?
I mean,
Because I need to case the joint at the nighttime.
Okay, so you're cooling your heels. That's what's going on. Okay, you take a heat off. And
is that on my character sheet somewhere, or
nope,
is that
no?
just
It's a big pool in the middle. There's a big symbol that says heat, and there's a bar above it.
Gotcha. And I did the influence thing right. I take it from 1 to 0.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay. Night falls over the city of New Dunhaven. And
quick question. I spent my influence, but was I also supposed to do some legwork thing or not?
Did you not do a legwork scene?
I just did the influence to find out about stuff.
Oh yeah, you have a legwork scene.
So I found out there was a specific section of the gallery and there's a dredger there.
Yeah, that's what your influence brought you.
That was the influence, right? So I do think for legwork, as risky as it is, I think this character would sneak in and would try to go in disguise and case the joint, and even though it's dangerous.
Okay. All right. So obviously this is taking place in a noble district. Even though you're sneaking around, someone somewhere is probably going to spot you. A little bit like that scene from Fargo where they're like, yeah, I saw the guy. He's real funny looking.
Yeah, I've got a disguise on, but I probably still walk like a thug.
You still walk like a thug. You ended up shimming up a drain pipe, and someone's just like, why is he doing that?
Oh, I was just going to walk in like I'm shopping.
Okay. And just gonna go in and look around the
try to see if I can figure out who the detective is and what the securities are, and those. But does casing the joint give us a mechanical advantage later for blocking, stealing, robbing the place, or is it going to be? Is
I
it
mean,
not going to be worth it?
it's gonna give you some advantage to that.
Okay, maybe it's worth it.
So
Sounds fun.
so a walk around the building gives you this information. Everybody should be seeing a screen that has like big sections of black marked out on it.
Okay.
But this should be the map that you're looking at. Off to the right, there is the main street and the main door. And as it's a public place and it's a place of business, you can just sort of go right in there and reveal the front. There's a couple guards there, and you would also be met by probably Celia, and she would and she would be welcoming you in and inviting you to come around and look at the various pieces of artwork. Off to the right and left as you go through the door, it opens into a couple big rooms that have paintings and statues, and the whole place kind of has an open design to it. And I'm actually gonna, do you have a bluffing? I'm gonna want you to make a skill check that's like a bluffing kind of roll.
I got to lie to somebody, and I have created disguise both at the same percentage. So.
Okay, either of those work and they're the same percentage, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter which one you roll. I would like you to go ahead and make that roll for me right now.
Okay.
Unlike some of the other legwork scenes, because you're at the gallery, this is probably going to be a couple rolls you're going to need to do.
Okay.
Oh, also as a point, I left this out. Everybody's taking the lead on a legwork scene. There's an option that other players can come along on the same legwork scene to help. If anybody would like to come along, or you can ask anybody if they would like to come along with you to be on the scene to provide any sort of assistance, running screen, or maybe provide a distraction for you while you go and sneak out the rest of the place. That's certainly a thing that can happen. The same rules for conspicuousness apply.
Yeah, probably should have done that, but I think everybody already did theirs.
Well, they
That's
can
all right.
join you. There's no limit to how many scenes they can join on.
Oh, okay.
This is your legwork scene, but other people can come along.
Yeah.
I can come chat people up with you.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think we should not take Arabella because she's going to do another scam later. So if I blow this job, I don't want to out her cover.
Okay.
So, but yeah, maybe Minerva could come along and sort of
distract some people.
Okay.
Right.
So am I rolling this check with any advantage dice or nothing like that, right?
Unless you've got some listed function that says that you have get advantage dice for this kind of thing.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, I get to add 2 advantage dice to any roll I make to interact verbally with commoners. She
is a commoner.
All right.
So yes, the answer to that question is yes, you do get advantage dice on this.
Okay.
I am actually going to give you, because of the situation in this case, I am also going to give you disadvantage dice. I'm going to give you just 1 disadvantage dice on this.
Okay.
So as you go to do the roll, you'll get your +2, and then you'll get the 1 disadvantage dice.
So do I just make it 1 advantage dice, or do I?
No, you actually get to roll all the dice. They're subtractive. So if you get,
I see. Okay.
If you get 2 successes on the one and one success on the other one, they'll
So I
subtract
put
each other.
2 for advantage and 1 for challenge.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So then I think I can do it. Okay, cool.
All
right, I don't know what this is all about.
Okay, so you rolled it. 44 is success because it's less than your 65, and you got 1 success. So as you come in, you talk with her, you convince her that you are there for legitimate means and you want to peruse the gallery because you are thinking about perhaps buying something, or you're thinking about you wanted to see what the gallery had to offer because you're thinking about selling something there.
I think I was shopping. I was like, I have a big country estate with lots of room. Like I could use a large statue or something on the wall. It could be very nice in my country home.
Okay. So she shows you around, and let me go ahead and open up some of the other sections on this map. The south wing has the statues and other functions of that nature. The north wing has various paintings and whatnot. Because it is open, you notice the Xiaolong bust in this upper room here. And you notice that there's, looking around, there's about 4 guards you spot in the place. They're kind of, there's a couple sort of standing at the front, but the other ones are sort of walking patrol. But the Xiaolong bus, they're not going anywhere near because it's surrounded by a cloud of it's surrounded by a cloud is what it is. And why is that not? Oh, that's why that's not. It's a sort of a, oh, there it goes. Roll20 is being a bit slow for me. It's a sort of a pinkish, purplish cloud of stuff that surrounds the thing. Now, you know about security systems. That because I'm pretty sure that's a thing that your character knows about.
Yeah, that's my thief thing.
And this would be a sentinel cloud. It's an alchemical gas that that sort of will stick to a thing, and if it's interrupted, it will like react with loud sparks and like a loud popping noise and sparks. So if you were to walk up to this, it would trigger. And so, and the Celia, who's showing you around the place, is like, yeah, don't get too close to that. That's a Xiaolong bust. It's we're currently holding it. The bust itself is also on a fine wooden pedestal, which and then above it, it has a glass case, which looks like it's probably bolted to the pedestal, or not bolted, but like locked down. So that and because you also know about security systems, the glass is alchemically treated to be functionally bulletproof, which means that you could break the glass, but it's probably going to take several hits from somebody big and burly to swing at. The gallery also, if you scroll down on the screen, has an upper floor as you're being shown around, which have like galleries in the gallery that sort of look down on the other rooms there, if that's notable or useful for you.
It looks like one of them looks down on the bust room.
Yes, one of them looks down on the bust room.
Okay.
And I'm going to want you to make a case the joint place. Once again, I'm going to want you to roll take a disadvantage dice on this.
Okay.
Now, Minerva, you're also present. So if there's something that you can do to help, or if there's some other function you want to do while here.
Where is my, okay. I kind of want, can I gossip with some of the, I would like to, no, I'm sorry. Gossiping with some of the guards, like.
Okay.
This
All right, then you would make go ahead and roll for me a gossip with commoners.
Gossip with commoners.
And I'm going to want you to roll 2 disadvantage dice.
Okay.
Because it can be really suspect to be like, hey, I want to find out more about this security thing that you're protecting.
Right, where did my token go? I lost myself on this map.
It should be off to the right in the middle. I moved you over to this map.
Okay. All right, so then click PC skill check. So what, no advantage dice?
No, unless you've got reason for advantage dice, none of that, and 2 disadvantage. So you got a disadvantage, but what's your gossip skill?
It's at 65%.
So you succeeded.
Okay.
So he mentions that there's a couple, because you go up and you ask him about the case, and he mentions that there's a couple locks on there, like yeah, we got that alchemical stuff around it, but even if that fails, there's still a couple locks, and the pillar itself is alarmed.
Okay.
And then he's like, why do you want to know that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and generate additional heat for you, because you kind of, in the process of questioning him and sort of getting him to give you this information, this guard has kind of maybe cluing in a little bit about what you are going for, and is now becomes high alert. And that seems like a problem.
I mean, none of your business, just curiosity. This way.
Also, are you conspicuous in noble districts?
Uh-huh.
You are?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, and then, but this was and then, did you make your case the joint place, Quickfinger?
I did not yet. I was trying to see if I was going to get any benefit from Minerva's thing, but I probably didn't.
She, instead of going for benefit, she went to go get additional information.
All right. So I do it with 1 challenge dice?
With 1 challenge dice.
Okay.
I'm giving you fewer because you've got some skill in this. So 64 is almost certainly a success for a thief.
Yeah, I think it's 80 for me.
But you are able to sort of look around, and you ask about, like, oh, where's the bathroom kind of thing. And you get, I'm just going to go ahead and reveal the rest of the map to you. So it looks like during the day there are 4 guards, and there is another individual who is sitting in a back room, and this individual is a gentleman by the name of Angus Renfield. And does anybody know about the right kind of people?
They're the ones that get eliminated because they're the right kind of people.
Right kind of people is a euphemism for criminals.
Yeah.
So the Angus Redfield is the dredger agent. He's has a reputation for being extremely vigilant and difficult to slip past, and he's particularly heavy for a dredger. He's got a long drooping mustache hanging down, and is constantly wearing a hat. But in the process of Quickfinger casing the place and getting a sort of a layout for the entire establishment, Angus spots him, and I'm going to go ahead and add an additional 2 heat, and Angus makes Quickfinger, like, he gets spotted snooping around, because Quickfinger's like, oh, can I use your bathroom? And you're pointed to a place in the back, and Angus is like, what are you doing here, kind of thing, and notices him sort of creeping around. And you play it up, and you manage to escape without him, like, drawing a sword or a flintlock, but it's kind of, that's gotten you on, you've been made on that.
That's too bad.
Okay, so now we move on to night. So now you guys have an option to it's now night phase, so we now add an additional 4 heat because every phase that you're doing the job, additional heat will be generated. And word that Quickfinger got in and faced a dredger and got out has, well, gotten out. And quite a few of Quickfinger's forgotten buddies are like, that's a fantastic job. So Quickfinger, go ahead and gain an influence for me, because it was a significant risk to go in to the place.
Okay.
Now you guys have some options of what you can do for this section. You can do another set of legwork scenes. You can just try to go and steal the thing and be like, well, I think we've got enough information, let's go for it. Or you can go through another planning phase. Now remind you that you're only going to get, after tonight, 1 more scene, which means that if you don't try to steal the thing tonight, you have to try to steal the thing tomorrow during the day.
So, and Ariel is way more effective at night, and there are assassins. So, is it bad to assassinate a dredger?
I mean,
Did they
Not-
work for the crown?
they do not work for the crown. It is
Then I
not
don't
any
care.
worse than trying to assassinate anybody else.
That guy made me. I'm afraid he's going to track me down. It would be convenient if we were to take him out, in my opinion.
I could maybe arrange something sneaky and stabby.
So I guess we either try to steal this thing tonight, or we come up with some kind of con job tomorrow, like we pretend to be buying it. But that's a whole other plan.
Does anybody know anything about alchemy?
No.
Nothing at all.
Nope.
Does anybody know anything about merchants?
I
Like
don't.
talking to them?
No, this would be in the list of things you know about.
No.
Usually on your cartel sheet. Okay.
No.
I think I do. Hold on.
I think the family, if you were part of the family cartel, you would know about merchants. That's
No.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, are you guys going to do another set of legwork scenes, which I think you were planning on, because you've got stuff in the works that need to be completed, or were you going to go and just try to steal it tonight, or did you want to spend another few minutes revising your plan and basically having another planning scene, assuming that what you've got so far is going to be good enough to go ahead?
Well, my legwork scene was casing the joint. We've cased it.
Yeah.
So
I have forgery documents. This put out my influence point to get a hearse for moving a forged item. So I think
I got a rug.
this carpet will replace the statue, no problem.
It'll be fine. They'll never know.
Well, but the thing is that the rug would be big enough to wrap the statue in, carry out, for example.
We give Caesar a rug.
Well, we don't
Over
have
his-
a fake
over his head.
statue to leave in its place, and I don't know if that's too hard anyway. That's the hard part.
Maybe we can wad up the rug. Put it-
But the rug would give you the rug would also give you plausible entrance.
Yeah. We could say the Arabellas want to hang this rug in the gallery.
But I'm gonna need to ask you guys to make a decision about, you're gonna do more legwork now, or you're gonna try to go to steal it right now.
We're on a time crunch because of time. So, you know what? Leroy Jenkins. YOLO.
Leroy.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately the longer con might be.
We ain't got time to play the long game. We just
We-
gotta go get this thing.
Okay. So you guys are you're going to go for it tonight.
I do think we need to figure out what the alchemical. I don't know anything about that alchemical stuff, but
Yeah, I don't know if my thieving ability with security systems is enough to get past all those alchemical things. I'm not sure.
You know that it is a sentinel cloud. And you know that there's a counter agent that's created for sentinel clouds that will disable it.
So they have to have that somewhere in there.
But that's a thing that you're going to need to legwork. But we can do a legwork scenes quickly.
Can we, well, like, if you can take care of the cloud, I can try to take care of the Angus. So Quickfinger would be the one doing the legwork.
You have you've obtained blackmail material on Celia, so you could perhaps use that blackmail material. So I would recommend you guys do legwork scenes and handle this during the day tomorrow, because you've got a lot that you're prepped up for.
I can still make myself a disguise for during the day.
Okay. So
that might be my legwork scene.
Well, what would be very helpful is Celia is absent-minded, and I don't know if she's the type of person who loses her keys, misplaces things, anything that could be useful for us getting that thing out of its case.
I could sneak around and find out in the nighttime. Maybe she loses her keys.
So it sounds like you guys are planning to do your legwork scene now. So who wants to take the first legwork scene for this evening?
I will. I haven't done one yet.
Okay.
All right. So my legwork scene is I'm gonna sneak around and see if I can snag Celia's keys.
Okay. And where and how are you going to do that?
Where is Celia?
Okay, so you're gonna catch Celia leaving the
gallery for the night.
Leaving the gallery for the night, and tail her and then attempt to pickpocket her.
If you want, I can accompany you and do the actual pickpocketing.
If you'd like to do the pickpocketing, I can sneak around really well. I can do that really, really well.
Yeah, if you want me to put something else in her pocket after I take the keys, I could too, back with the blackmail thing, maybe. I don't know.
Or you can leverage the fact that you've blackmailed her and just get her to give you the keys.
Could do that too.
Because that was kind of the point of blackmailing her.
Well, that takes me out.
Well, it's either that or we use the blackmail on her to
Get the bust.
in some way get her to either get the guards out.
Maybe we can forge some papers that the bust is actually being sold to Arabella. We can blackmail her to go along with it.
Sounds like you guys are kind of drifting into replanning territory. So let's press on. Ariel wants to take a legwork scene. She's mentioned wants to do that first.
It's fine.
If you can hold off on taking a legwork scene now.
I can hold off.
So why don't we go on and have somebody else take a legwork scene?
Okay. Do we want to do that, or do we want to replan?
Can Ariel kill the Pinkerton or the detective as a legwork scene, or is that more like when we do the actual heist? Okay.
No, I mean, yes, you can, but that becomes a drama scene at that point in time, because we play it out and there's combat and things could go horribly, horribly wrong. But yes, that is absolutely a thing that you can attempt to do during a legwork scene.
What
I'll
if I
also
wanted to sneak around her office in the gallery and see if her keys are in there?
Yeah, you could do that.
What do you guys think about that? I'm stuck on these keys, apparently.
Or
I would say though, if you want to get her keys, because you already have blackmail material on her, just have
It would
somebody
be easier.
somebody spend
Gotcha.
a legwork scene to go talk to her and blackmail her to get the keys. Like you've got that, you already have that open. I would hate to have you spend your influence for nothing.
Do we need the keys if we're doing this in daylight? Because we have to do it in the daytime now, right?
The
Well-
bust is locked down anyway.
Ah, okay, cool. All right.
Mhm.
So we've got to deal with the cloud. And we've got to deal with the glass that it's locked under to get the bust, to get it out of the gallery while I murder the Pinkerton boy.
All right, so but somebody needs to take a legwork scene.
I don't know if you want me to do that because I feel like I'm just not good luck with anything like that and I'll ruin it. I know my flaws.
If I'm not any good at blackmailing people.
You don't need to.
I don't need to be.
We already have the blackmail.
We
Yeah, you
already
already have
have
the
the
material.
blackmail.
The,
Yeah.
the trick with that one would be that I would think that you would find Celia at her home. Let me go ahead and help you out on this because
Okay.
we're running out of time and I think you guys are getting a little bit caught up with not advancing. So
Okay.
what you could do, if this is okay with you, would be to
I have enough.
catch Celia at her home,
Right?
sneak in. The role would be to sneak into the place, but then you would use the blackmail material to get the keys from her and have to keep her quiet on that. And then you would sneak out.
So like if I sneak into her house and I'm waiting,
Yeah,
and then she comes in and I flick the light on and I'm already sitting in the chair with my feet up on the table.
exactly.
Yes.
See, now you're getting it,
Hey, got it.
right?
I'm gonna do that.
All right. So I think that the role in this case would be a sneak around,
Okay.
because you want to be able to get into the place and be quiet about it.
Okay.
And then because you already have influence obtained blackmail material, you've got this already, but you do need a roll.
Okay.
And so in this case, I think that you don't have any particular disadvantages. I don't know if you have any particular advantages. That would be based on your character.
I have advantages on any attacks I make against minions,
In this case, it doesn't qualify
which
because you're
does
not.
not qualify.
This is not an attack that we're doing. So go ahead and roll a sneak around.
I just hit the PC skill check,
PC skill check.
0 advantage dice,
Correct.
submit, and 0 challenge dice.
Correct. 64 is almost certainly going to be fantastic, like success for you on a sneak around. I think your sneak around's probably what, 80 or 90.
It's 90.
Yeah, so she's like, you get in, like she comes in, she turns the lights on, she goes into the kitchen, she comes back, you're sitting in her chair with the feet up, like, we need to talk. So you get from her a set of keys. It has small keys which unlock the glass case, and it has big keys which unlock the doors. And that's
Fabulous.
and then you're like, pleasure doing business with you, and then you disappear into the night. And I'm presuming that you're not conspicuous in commoner districts.
Not at night. I'm not conspicuous
You're warden,
anywhere.
so you're not conspicuous anywhere. All right.
Yeah. As long as it's nighttime, nobody notices me.
Since I'm in the process of suggesting, because we need to keep this moving here, if Minerva didn't have a particular mission to do,
Mhm.
I believe as a cleaner, you have a function that allows you to have the amount of heat generated from one scene. And you guys generated 7 heat last scene, the last scene of the heat of the day phase.
Yeah.
So Minerva could spend her legwork scene cleaning which in this case would be talking to guards and bribing them, or
Yep.
mostly it's talking to guards and bribing them. That's
Yep.
a suggestion of a thing that you could do, unless you have another plan, another scene that you would need.
I can't really think of anything else, so I'm gonna bribe and intimidate and be like, you don't know nothing.
Okay, and that halves the amount of heat generated.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll take 4 heat off. Yeah. Okay.
You didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything. We're cool, man. I'm cool. You cool? I'm cool.
All right, so we've got Arabella and Quickfinger. Do you guys know that you still have a few other things to have to deal with? There's the dredger wandering around. There's guards wandering around. There's the sentinel cloud that needs to be dealt with. So establishing something that would make things easier for you when time comes.
I definitely think getting some of, if I can get my hands on some of the alchemical
Okay.
counteraction, maybe I can convince someone to sell some to me, or
Okay. So where are you going to go to get alchemical material?
Well, let's see, I'm university educated, so I would probably know, is this a type of thing you can buy, or is this a hard to find?
So alchemy is pretty common because it fills in a lot of roles for technology. It is not uncommon for people to have some amount of alchemy related stuff. Related, they've got alchemically treated glass, which is difficult to break, and they've got this thing. Now, this particular, this is specifically alchemy stuff to overcome like a security system. So it's not the kind of thing that you would necessarily be able to just off the shelf.
Right.
Because if you could off the shelf it wouldn't be very useful security. Right?
Can we steal it somewhere?
Well, you're gonna definitely have to steal it somewhere. But the trick on that is none of you really know anything about alchemy, so you would be probably unable to know what it was exactly that you were stealing. That's my feeling on that point. Also, is there anything else that you guys need or want to take care of for as a legwork? Because you got 2 legwork scenes left, and I want those to be going pretty quick.
I mean,
Right.
I'll help you steal the alchemy stuff if you figure out where it is and how to use it. I'm not smart. I can't.
That sounds like a fantastic way to use 2 legwork scenes.
Yeah.
So
can
Quick Fingers will steal it. So Arabella is going to find out what it is. So how are you going to figure out what the proper alchemical material is to overcome this sentinel cloud?
I mean, my default assumption would be to just seduce the right alchemist.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, can I find a
I mean, the answer is yes, because remember, you're telling me, not.
Yes. I'm just not knowing the world as well as I would like to. Yes, I would like to. I would assume that all the noble houses have various merchants and specific artisans that do things for them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like, because this bust is being used as a transfer of money between House Farragos and House Silvertree. I want to try and locate and convince or seduce, whatever it needs to be, the alchemist that works for House Farragos
Okay.
to help me identify the right alchemical solution.
All right. And where are you going to go meet this person? I'm gonna push past a variety of things of actually tracking down who this actual person is. But let's say that there's an alchemist shop that is located in the House Farrago merchant district, because the various houses own different districts, and you're basically making an assumption that this alchemist shop is the one that House Farrago uses because proximity, right?
Correct.
You shop at the local Walmart because it's the local Walmart, not the one across town. So this would be a merchant district. You're meeting this person where, how? And who is this person? I need you to come up with a name.
This is his name is Vincent Anders.
Okay.
And he when he finishes up for the day, he always goes next door to the local drinking establishment.
Okay.
And I will go and locate him there and convince him to take me back to his shop.
Okay. I think that this would definitely be a convince somebody role.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this would be maybe a little bit trickier to do. So I'm going to give you a disadvantage dice on this. But do you have a anything that would give you an advantage to working with this merchant, to convincing him?
I don't think so. I know my skill is pretty high, but my advantage is,
You don't have anything related on your cartel or specialty?
no, it's just working with nobles.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a convince someone check and take a disadvantage die on it.
That's okay. So, 0, 1.
Okay. And let's see, you got a 38, but you got a disadvantage on there.
My skill is an 80.
Yeah, so you definitely succeeded. Because everybody has a skill of at least 50%. So you convinced him to come back, and you're talking to him, and he tells you what kind of alchemy is used for making this kind of thing. But there's a problem. And I think in this case, the problem will be that the chemicals are caustic to handle for this. And it's going to make an issue for anybody who's dealing with this material at a later point. And also presuming that you're not conspicuous in a merchant district, just for sake of argument.
I'm not, no.
Okay. All right. But that gives you the information you were looking for. And now Quickfinger basically happens to be at that pub afterwards. And like, as you get up to go to the bathroom, you tell Quickfinger, pass him a note, and Quickfinger sneaks out to go back over there in the merchant district to the alchemy lab to to see about stealing the particular materials. Now, I believe that Quickfinger has no problem about getting into the alchemist shop, because
Right. Once I'm within, you can make me roll to pick locks or break a safe or whatever, but
I
getting in is
think-
no problem.
so I think in this particular case, your hardest problem to get this material is going to be not so much sneaking around, but is going to be knowing what the double material you're looking for is. And this would be a use alchemy check, which you probably don't have, because I don't think very many characters do.
No.
And I'm going to have you roll a disadvantage die as well on this one, because that was established from previous.
Okay.
So this is going to be an anything else for you
Okay.
with a one disadvantage dice on this.
So I'm breaking in, I break into the cabinet, I'm looking at all these vials, and like she said, the blue one or the
Yeah.
red one, the blue and the red one, maybe it's the purple one. I don't know which one of these damn things to take.
Yeah, they're meticulously labeled, but like there's hydroxides and hydroxates and some other some other problems, and it's very difficult for you to figure out which one you need. So you can push your luck up to 4 times to get the success that you need on
I
this.
think I'm going to need all 4 times for this.
Or you can be like, I grab one randomly and it determines it's just not.
I mean, we're only going to play this game for another 10 or 15 minutes, so let's push the luck.
Okay,
I'm going
so
to push all my luck.
go ahead
Panic buy.
and go ahead and roll again, and then
Okay.
you're going to take 4 disadvantage dice on this.
4. Oh, you roll again when you push your luck. Okay, interesting.
Well, you're rolling disadvantage dice, but I don't have a way to do it within a separate
Okay, cool.
disadvantage dice roll within the game.
Got it. What happened? It didn't do anything. Oh, there it goes.
It just takes a moment sometimes. Okay, so 3 of the skulls came up. It doesn't matter. Any number of skulls is still a number of skulls. So you look at some stuff, and the process of doing this, you end up pouring a bunch of materials, like you end up knocking something over, and it falls on the floor and breaks, and it starts smoking, and it leaves a big hole in the floor, and there's a fire, and you are generally not feeling very good after inhaling some of this, but you get the material you're looking for. It was behind the other bottle that you did have to knock this one over. That's your story. But this makes a pretty flashy, like the building ends up burning, right? The building ends up catching on fire. That's the kind of thing that draws some attention. And I'm going to go ahead and say that was 2 additional heat for the group.
Sorry,
And I'm going to say that Quick Fingers in the process there is just not going to feel well for the whole next day. So basically, anytime you're doing anything that involves using your hands, Quick Fingers, you've got like burns or the shakes or something like that will give you a disadvantage die. So that goes on top of everything else.
I come back all steamy and
Yeah.
welted. I'm like, I got the stuff, but did I mention I fucking hate alchemy?
All right. So we've gone on to the next one, and unfortunately we're running very much out of time, so I'm gonna have to hurry this up because I don't want anybody to push it over. Is there a problem about anybody going over by 10 or 15 minutes?
No, I'm good.
I got to stop at like 10 or 15 after, but I'm good.
Okay, I will try to keep this short and keep the action moving very, very quickly. I didn't hear okay so everybody, but I will speak up if there's a problem. Okay. Music playing for you guys?
No.
Only in my spirit.
Looks like Roll20 did its music problem where it will sometimes just stop playing music. It's annoying. All right, but anyway, so now we're getting into the final scene. It's daytime. You guys have met up. You've got this tapestry. You've got this bottle of stuff. You've got these keys. You've got some inside knowledge. What time of day are you going? Is it going to be afternoon, like at the end of the day, or is it going to be early morning, like before they've opened, or is it just going to be middle of the day, bold daytime robbery? Quick, someone speak up.
Early morning, right
suggested-
before the sun comes up.
Right as the sun comes up, right before the sun comes up. I mean, that won't stop you from being conspicuous in the region, but
No, but still.
all
Do
right,
I
but
need to
before,
roll
but
anything to
before they've
create a
opened.
disguise?
Um,
Or no?
I mean, you're gonna be conspicuous there,
No matter what.
no matter what. Like you just that's the way you are.
Okay.
Anybody else conspicuous in noble districts? We've got.
I'm conspicuous. I can also create a distraction outside if you want with my street gang friends. It's my last, since I have an influence and nothing better to do with it. So
Yeah, if you've got any influence, now is the time. Any
Yeah.
last influence, and there's a table influence the whole group can spend. I
Okay.
believe somebody was going to be buying or borrowing a hearse.
Yep, that would be me.
Okay, and that would be a table influence that you're spending, or are you spending your own?
I was spending my own, but it doesn't matter, I guess, at this point.
All right, we'll spend your own then. So
Okay.
you still have one table influence. Does anybody else have any last minute thing that?
I'm just gonna start that street gang riot outside to give us a little cover.
Okay. So the street gang riot outside is attracting the attention of like passersby, which will keep them off of you while you're go in to do the thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the drama scene. I'm going to go ahead and add everybody to an initiative tracker. And then on this, we're just going to go through each of the characters sort of in order because this is sort of, we want to take this as turns if necessary, or we can go up things. But right now we're basing this off of a fluid time frame. If we actually get into actual combat, time will shrink down for individual sections. But right now it's sort of a broad for this 10 minutes. So there's the street gang outside. It's attracting attention from passersby so that they're not noticing what's going on necessarily at the gallery itself. And just randomly, it looks like Quickfinger ended up on top. Now you can start wherever you want, because as a thief, I believe you get second story work and you can just start wherever you want.
Yeah, I think I'll climb up to a second story window and go into that room with the little balcony that overhangs the statue.
Okay, so you're here.
Okay.
Right. And then you have what are you doing in this particular case?
I'm gonna get ready. I guess I'm gonna. I don't know if my fingers are all burnt, but I don't know if anybody else is better at stealing things. So I'm gonna get ready to try to deactivate the things and get past the security measures around the statue.
Okay. Minerva, where are you in relationship to this place? Like off to the right is like the front of the building, off to the left is the back of the building. You can actually should be able to click on your token and move it wherever you want to go.
Okay.
But where are you?
There's like no movement speed or anything like that. Just
put yourself wherever. This is the beginning of stuff, so.
all right. The guards aren't there.
No, the guards are there.
Oh, poop.
Yeah, there's always going to be guards there.
Okay.
Because they go through a shift change and switch them out.
So I'm
So you're
just
outside the window there.
Yeah, just gonna kind of place myself at this back window so I can get a little bit of a little peek.
Okay.
Meandering.
Ariel, where are you starting?
I'm going to try to sneak into this back door.
Okay. Now you have keys, so
I
you can
do.
just open the door and sneak inside.
I'm going to sneak right in here.
Okay. And then Ariel, where are you?
I think, and is there like, it looks like there's this back area for storage.
Yep, Yeah,
We-
this whole area back here is like a back room for storing stuff, and they've got an upper room as well.
All right. I will, ideally, I would like to take that giant rug and
Yep.
bring it into the gallery like I'm dropping off. I mean, not me personally, have some hired hands or whatever who carry it, because no person wouldn't.
Do you have any hired hands?
What?
Do you have any hired hands?
Oh, probably not.
I'm meeting with this because I believe you guys have one final table influence, so it might be worth your while to hire some hands.
Y'all think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just want them to start. We're gonna walk right in, march in, and start like I'm delivering this. I've got my forged death certificate. I'm like, I want this in here. And make as much socially appropriate of an entitled noble commotion.
Okay, so you're coming in the back,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you've got your hired hands here
Mhm.
who are carrying this big rug, and you're coming in there.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take that part. So you get in there, and there's a guard, and there is Camilla Chandler, who's the daytime head of security.
Mhm.
And she's just like, you've got this stuff already, but I need you to, what you're going to do with this particular case is that you are going to make, you're going to need to convince her to be able to bring this in and sort of gain access and also provide a distraction. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a combat. What combat is in this game is that you are going to make a check that's exactly the same way as you did before. And if you succeed on the check, you will deal damage to the target's luck equivalent to whatever your roll was. And the fun part about this is anything can be a combat check. So in this case, you were doing a social attack against her.
Mhm.
You were attempting to convince her, presumably,
Mhm.
that you're going to do this. And I would like you to, and because you have already established that you've got these documents, and you've got this, and you've got the thing right there, it lends a lot of credibility to what you're going to do. So in this particular case, go ahead and roll the check and add 4 advantage dice on this. And I'm not going to ask if you've got anything else bonus on this one because you don't need to, because 4 is the most you can have. Is 59 a successful convince somebody?
Yes.
All right. So you're like, I need to get in here, and I want, and she's completely overwhelmed by your nature and your impetuousness, and she's just like, yes, absolutely, whatever. I forgot that you're supposed to be here today. She's totally bought into it, and in fact, she asks the guard who's with her, be like, help grab that and bring it in. So you and your goons have now gained access to the place, and Camilla Chandler is kind of now willing to do. She's committed to this, and she's willing to do what you need to in this particular case. Meanwhile, upstairs, quick finger, you're looking down over the statue.
Yeah, are the guards standing in the room with the statue, or
There's
are they...
nobody standing in the room with the statue right now, but
Okay.
the doors have been opened.
Okay.
And the guards are sort of walking up a troll, so they need to be taken care of in some way. Otherwise, it's probable that somebody will notice it.
Okay. So hopefully one of my colleagues will take care of them while I lower myself suspended on a rope above the statue and attempt to begin to prepare the alchemical solution to deactivate the cloud.
Okay, so I'm going to want you to go ahead and do your favorite roll,
Okay.
which would be use alchemical object. And don't forget, you get
I have
one.
to use that.
Yeah,
That's right. All right.
You could have passed it on to somebody else, but you're in a position to use it.
And that's all
and
right.
you do gain 1 disadvantage dice on this because you've got the burns.
I'm like, these stupid test tubes. They're burning my fingers again. All right.
Because this is, you cannot push your luck on an attack, but this is not an attack. So you can go ahead and push your luck to succeed on this case.
What is that going to be, like 2 luck points or?
It's 10.
Okay, I'll do that.
Because you always have to pay in blocks of 10.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. So there's a woof sound, and the cloud just disappears.
Okay.
And then there's a disadvantage. In the process of pouring this, it slips from your burned fingers and hits the floor with a crash.
Oops.
So there's a breaking sound, and there's some people going on there. Minerva, you can see a guard coming by that's going to go check out what's happening.
I'm gonna run down to this. I'm assuming this is a window.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start banging on it.
Okay. I would like you to make a distract someone attack.
Okay, so what is that? Oh, what did I just click? Just kidding. Oh goodness. Okay, so what do I?
It's a regular skill check, just the way you normally would, and it's going to be you're going to be basing it against your distract someone.
I think distract someone. Okay, and then no advantage.
I'm not going to say any sort of advantage in this case.
All right, just straight up.
I think that's success.
It is.
Whatever you slice. So, yeah. He's going to go there, and then you start banging on the window, and he's like, and he has now been distracted from going and checking out what made that shattering sound.
Hey, friend, you like cheese? I like cheese. Let's talk about cheese.
Ariel.
I'm going to continue to sneak around. I'm trying to find the gods. Especially that Angus guy who, I can see him, but my character cannot.
Yeah, you get up to this door here, and you've kind of got the door peeked open, and you can see Angus come out of this sort of side room. He's there. He is. He seems to be aware that there's something going on, and has come out because there's this somebody has just brought a bunch of people in and is now carrying some goods. And it wasn't on the schedule for today. And he's
is he facing away from me?
He is facing away from you.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay. This is, as you may imagine, an attack.
Hi.
This is specifically a shoot someone attack.
I have 80% on that.
And I'm presuming that you've got something like a hand crossbow.
I do, and I also have 2 advantage dice on any attacks I make against minions. And my attacks made against a lone minion automatically succeed if they're not aware of me.
So this is not a minion. The guards are minions, but this guy is an actual character. But I will go ahead and give you 2 advantage dice against him because you have the drop on him. He is looking away from you, and you absolutely have a sneak attack kind of bonus here.
You're right. No challenge dice?
Not in this case. So you shoot him in the back, and you get him, and you have a boon on this one, which means that it's a backstab, so it does additional damage. Now your crossbow also has a weapon bonus. It says like 30 points, 20 points, or 30 points?
30.
So what that is it with an 18, and your weapon does an additional 30 points of damage, which makes it 48, and you're going to be doubling that. However, this guy, I hadn't mentioned it before because this is kind of the first time you're really seeing him. He is wearing armor, which is unusual, but not necessarily for somebody in his case. So that's actually going to knock 10 points off of this. So it is 38 doubled, which is 76.
Minus 10, so 66.
No,
okay, got it.
It's 48 minus 10 doubled is 76. Now this shot hits him, but because he's wearing armor, it kind of deflects off of a buckle. You get his attention and he turns around. So as I mentioned before, this is luck that you're draining off of, that your characters have, and that you're draining off of this guy as you're attacking him, because he also has luck. Which is to say that he basically got lucky and stepped out of the way briefly there. So you didn't actually injure him, but if his luck runs out and you do use violence, you injure them. Because Arabella's, Camilla Chandler, and the guard are distracted, they don't happen to notice this. So Arabella, you notice that Ariel has shot Angus, and Angus has now spun around. What do you do? Now, you have already defeated these guys because you had a very successful convincing on them. Their luck is gone. So if you use violence or you make a demand that they like leave, they will almost certainly acquiesce to it or be taken out. And you do have like 4 guys there who are big enough to carry stuff.
I would go tell the goons to go help with the other item. That's they're to go help Quickfinger in the gallery. So they're gonna look like they're heading out.
All right, so they're crossing the gallery to go do that.
Yes.
Okay, and they're sitting all 4 of them because they work as a team.
Yes.
Okay, and then anything else you're going to do with Camilla? Because she's and this guard are probably going to notice that there's like combat going off in the other part of the room.
There's no back door or anything back here.
Oh, there's lots of back doors. There's a door here. Okay. There's a door here. There's a door here. There's the door over here.
Okay. I will tell them. Okay, open that door, and go get ready to receive the next items.
Oh, okay. So you send them off. You're like, go out there and wait for, because I've got more coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you send them outside. And they're going to totally go along with this one because you just rumpus them. All right, so that's back to Quickfinger.
All right, I'm gonna.
For sake of argument, a bunch of goons come walking into the room.
All right, I'm gonna tell them. Okay, guys, I just got to get this glass lid off. Then you can carry this thing out of here.
All right, so you drop down and you start unlocking the glass lid.
Right.
Okay, that's what you do.
All right.
Minerva.
Ooh. The guard I have in front of me is still distracted.
Yeah, you've got his attention.
I kind of like point to where the front door is to chat with him.
Okay.
Go down and hopefully he follows me down because we're having a very stimulating conversation about Bree.
Okay. He comes over and he lets you in.
Hey girl, here for the cheese.
All right. Angus Renfield, I would say, is going to go at this point in time. Has been aware that he's been shot in the back with a crossbow bolt and has turned around and is currently now yelling something like, villains or blackguards or something like that. And he draws a flintlock. He draws a rapier and he draws a flintlock pistol. And he is going to go ahead and make an attack against Ariel on this particular case. And his shot hits, and Ariel takes 95 damage off of their luck.
Ow! Owie!
Yeah, so Ariel, he pulls the flintlock, he points at you, he pulls the trigger, Ariel slams the door, and the door disintegrates. And you're covered in sawdust and bits, and there's a big hole where the door used to be, and that could have been you.
That's not very sportsmanlike.
It is your action.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay. So you get another hand crossbow, and you're just like, doink.
I'm gonna shoot him again.
All right. So you don't get the drop on him this time. So I don't know if you've got any advantages, but go ahead and roll it.
I have, well, no, it's only against minions. Oy, oy.
All right. So you do you shoot him back and he ducks down and hides behind takes some cover there.
Get out here and fight like a real man. Stop sneaking around.
All right. This sound does attract the attention of other guards. Button. Of some of the other Moonshadow security, who are now like, who now come rushing down and come into this back room here.
Oh, look, minions.
Minions. Those are the guys you're good at.
I'm good at minions.
And that's what they do. The other one who's up in the front is currently like, what was that noise? And
Nothing. It's all about the cheese.
it's all about the cheese. And it's been completely distracted out here. Arabella.
While the Pinkerton, whatever, is his
Drinker.
back is to me.
Yep.
The other guards around me weren't, well, I guess two new ones just came in, but
Two new ones came in, but they're not paying attention. Go on.
Yeah. I have these lovely throwing knives, and he's not looking.
Certainly. That sounds like 2 advantage dice to me.
Yes. So I will just a skill check, advantage dice 2.
All right. So you throw a knife at him and it pings off of his hat. It knocks the hat off his head. It turns out he's bald on top. And do the throwing knives do additional damage, correct?
Yeah, plus 10.
Plus 10. Okay. And he is now aware of your presence. And he's yelling to the security guards to get them. Quick finger. You get the top unlocked and you've got the goons there. They're able to lift the lid off, lift this glass case off the top of this bust. And a couple of them are ready to grab it. What are you doing?
I'm gonna help them grab it and try to figure a way out of here past the fight scene.
As you lift the bust off of the pedestal, there's a counterweight system there, and it starts ringing an alarm.
Did I know
But
about that? Oops. Okay.
You did, but
I forgot about that. Okay.
We didn't bring the bag of sand.
Yeah, but you have it now. So you're
Okay.
now you and the goons, you and one of the goons are carrying this bust.
Oh, let's find that hearse.
All right. It was supposed to be out in the street, so you just got to get out sort of past combat or
We
past somebody.
wrap it in the carpet and carry it out there somehow.
Yep. So you got it wrapped up in the carpet. You're carrying it. So you've got one end. Another goon is another end. The other ones are sort of running security on that. And you start rushing out to the street then.
All right.
And that's up like where I'm at too, right? They're going to be coming my direction.
Yes. Probably because that's away from where combat's occurring. There's like shouting and banging and whatnot going on there. And it is your action, Minerva.
Do I see them coming? Because whatever. And I just look at the guy in front of me and I go, sorry, cheese man, but I'm gonna have to let you go. And then I give him a knee in his man parts.
Yep.
Do I have to roll for anything?
He's already defeated, so you just knee him in the groin, bonk him on the head with an elbow, and he goes down.
I'm gonna kick you while you're down. We'll always have cheese. And then can I yell in to Arabella and Ariel, like, we gotta pull the lead out?
Yep. You just did.
We gotta pull the lead out.
So Angus is stuck in between the two characters here, but the guards are close enough to Ariel, so we'll press across the room and engage Arabella with his rapier. He slashes at Arabella, striking her for 25 damage.
rude.
Which was a fairly low roll, actually. Ariel, there are 2 minions who are now facing off against you. They've got their swords out.
I can only shoot one of them, right? Or can I shoot one of them and throw a knife at the other one?
I believe you can, because you have a thing that says when you defeat minions, you defeat multiple minions.
Do I?
I believe that's what your thing says. Like when you attack a minion, you can take out a second minion at the same time.
No, you have 2 advantage dice on any attacks you make against minions. Additionally, your attacks made against lone minions automatically succeed if they're not
okay,
aware
it's a
of you.
different character that gets that. So you
Yeah.
get well, you've got 2 hand crossbows and they're both spent, so you can be reloading and then shoot, or you just sort of dagger one of them. But you get 2 advantage dice on that.
I will dagger one of them.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your throw something, which is the same as before, and you get your 2 advantage dice. All right. You that almost certainly hits, because probably 64 is most likely a hit. He's a minion, so he doesn't have any hit points, so he just sort of goes down. Because you haven't got an advantage on that case. In the case of a minion, he collapses, and the other guy's like, Louis, and it's basically now out of combat to try to help Louis not die.
Oh, save your girlfriend.
All right. Moonshadow Security is actually no longer members of this combat. Arabella, you're facing off against Angus Renfield in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
Finish him.
Not even sure he's taking damage. Can I would like to try and throw my knives at him, or because I have 2 of them.
Yep.
Throw my knives at him and then run like hell.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so you fling a knife at him and then you run away. So I'm going to call the attack you're going to make in this case a run like hell attack, rather than a throw something or stab somebody. So you're going to roll your skill check for that, and this is an attack, and you're going to add your 10 points of damage from your dice.
Okay. So no advantage, no disadvantage.
No.
Okay.
So you temporarily distract him. The knife pings off. You flee the scene.
Go.
And I'm presuming that's what's going on in this case. Quickfinger, you get outside, and you're starting to load the. There's a hearse pulls up outside, and you and this other guy are loading in the bust. Right when this happens, so remember how I mentioned there was heat and it was generating, and I could spend that to throw in a plot twist. Right when this happens, one of the other goons that was with you drops basically just pulls out 2 hand crossbows, shoots the other 2 goons, including the one shoots one of the 2 other goons there, dropping the other end of the bust, so it sort of hits the floor as this guy is dead. This is a dredger agent in disguise who has infiltrated your job.
What?
Quickfinger.
So I gotta go, but I will do one thing before I go, and then I'll tune in later to see how it all turns out. But I guess I will attack this guy, since I don't think I have any weapons or anything, but let me see. Thief. I don't think I'm too good at attacking anyone, so I might actually just run like hell.
Okay.
I think that's what I'll do. So
All right. So you're
I'm
like,
just gonna run.
I'm out.
Like, this has
Peace.
gone bad. I'm out of here. All right.
Okay. So you can do this, make this roll as a way for you to escape, or you can use your run like hell as a way to attack this person as a sort of goal to draw them off.
I'll draw them off and escape, because I also do have to actually leave.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a run like hell attack.
Okay.
24. You draw them off for a short distance, but they don't trail you into into the city.
I keep
And you're
running
gone.
and I have to take my kid for ice cream. So
Oh,
will
I
see you
understand.
guys later. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. We'll let you know how it happened
Okay.
later. Okay. Minerva, there's a friendly goon that's still there who's kind of in shock, and there is this surprise dredger who is now in front of you. And the bust itself is now sitting on the ground.
I want the goon to pick it up so we can just like hoof it. Like,
Okay, but it's going to be a thing that the goon itself can't carry because it's too heavy.
oh, I can't carry it. I'm dainty.
I mean, both of you could work together, but you've got this dredger in front of you.
Can I? I want to distract the dredger. I want to pull a good old look behind you.
Okay, that sounds like a fantastic attack. So go ahead and make a distract someone attack.
No advantage, no disadvantage. Oh.
96 is not going to hit, and you're not permitted to push your luck on attacks. So in this case, you're like, look behind you, and they're like, I'm not falling for that.
You are! So then, now what? Do I just stand here? Do I try and run? What do I do?
Well, this dredger is going to pull out a sword and try to stab you.
What? Why?
What? Why? The swing comes in, and you take 54 damage.
I thought we were friends.
And then at this point in time, we have also the friendly goon, who can act here. That was Arabella's goons, right? Whose goons were those?
They were mine.
Okay, so go ahead and make a roll for the friendly goon, but which you can just do by clicking on click on your own character. It's off the bottom side, and then roll for it. The friendly goon has an attack rating of 40% because they're goons and they're kind of not important to the scene. But I'm presuming the friendly goon is going to try to bonk this surprise dredger over the head, and does not successfully get an attack on there. Angus is going to turn around, and Ariel is now being threatened. He's just going to come over and try to hit you. And a 96 is not going to hit you. So, but the sword is like swing, 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 and he's definitely not a nobody in this combat. Ariel.
I'm gonna stab him.
Okay. Stab
Can
someone.
I try to stab him and run away?
Well, yeah.
Or
But I would
should I
work
just
out-
try to stab him?
I would try to stab him, and then you can just say you run away.
Okay, I'm gonna stab him.
Okay.
I don't have advantage. I don't have disadvantage. Aha! I stabbed him.
Okay. The weapon does 20 bonus damage.
10.
10. Okay. He parries your attacks, and then you say you're just running.
Yeah, run
Okay.
away.
Minerva, you got a surprise dredger and friendly goon in front of you, and you've got the statue right there wrapped up in the thing. You just got to get it into the cart, and then you can tell the driver to take it away.
Did I disappear?
Can I?
You should still be standing there. You're still standing there. Roll 20 is being weird right now because it's Saturday midday. It's being
Yep.
busy. But there was a question. I heard somebody say, "Can I?"
Am I able to run running away? Can I run outside and help with the statue?
Yeah. So you're gonna go the other direction, out toward the front.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
that way, yeah, but around. Yeah.
Oh, at the back where you came in. Yes.
Yeah.
Be able to get there, we'll say next round.
Okay.
Although Angus is almost certainly going to be tailing you in this case.
Probably.
All right. But back to Minerva.
Oh, can I want to intimidate this guy.
Okay. I am going to give you disadvantage on this because most of the time social checks do not work very well once the blades come out.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the thing of like once people start to resort to violence is the answer.
All right.
But you did it, and you didn't get any penalty on that. So you've got you have a knife, right? You have some sort of a weapon.
I do.
All right. So you push the dredger back and pull the knife up, and you're holding it there, and you're like, I suggest you drop it. And the dredger seems to be intimidated.
That's right. Be afraid. Can I have the goon, since he's all intimidated and stuff now? Can I have help the goon load that thing up?
Yeah. The friendly goon, you're like, get the carpet. Get it. Yeah. Angus is gonna chase after Ariel and comes up behind Ariel swinging his sword. So the attack is going to do 87 damage.
Oops.
Which obviously is more than you've got after taking that shot earlier. So now what's happened is that you are now out of luck. And because this is part of the attack and he massively overrolled the end of it, this attack draws blood. You are now injured, which means anytime you were to make a roll for the rest of the scene, basically until the injury's healed, you just get a disadvantage dice straight out.
Okay.
Also, you're at risk of dying. If he were to stab you again, you might be completely out of it. But it is now your turn. So you can attempt to escape, perhaps even drawing him off to get him out of combat. Or you could just try to run away on your own, or you can go and do what you suggested, which is go and help grab the thing.
My character doesn't know that the thing is in the wagon, so I'm still gonna try to come around here.
Yeah, you get the information. You come around the corner and you're like, okay, they're there. You can see what's going on. Do you go to help them do that, or do you just try to run off?
I'm gonna try to draw him off.
Okay, so this is going to be a run like hell attack against Angus.
Okay, with a disadvantage.
And you get a disadvantage because you're injured.
Okay. Oh, I made it.
Because he is, because actually he's taken a lot of damage at this point. You managed. He tails you into the city, and you lose him in the city. He's left the scene. So the friendly goon, you're like, get the thing, and the surprise dredger like turns, and the friendly goon just turns. Minerva just bonks with the butt of the dagger, dropping the surprise dredger unconscious onto the street there. Minerva and the goon load the statue and the carpet up in the back of the hearse, and it takes off through the city. And that's it. You guys have, there's no, so you are able to turn it into the drop point. And a few days later, you're in a payment and congratulations on doing the job. Good job. You guys did it.
It took a little bit, but we did.
Yeah, I once again, I do want to apologize for going over the end here by about half an hour. It can be tricky if you're not quick about it, and I should have been more forceful about getting you guys under time. If anybody has to leave now, I understand.
Great narration and a great storyline, you guys. But I am going to be sending us out on the stream.
Send us out.
Yep, everyone who's watching, thank you for sticking around with us the extra time over. And I know you can't hear it, but give a round of applause for our cohort. They did a great job on their first stream today. And
good job, everybody.
Make sure to keep tuning in here at Geek Therapeutics. We will be back on Thursday this coming week with another game. Take care of everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.